Every day I fall down, make mistakes, get back up, try again. Next time that you see me.
Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to this week's production of Too Inspiring, Harrisburg's first inspirational television talk show about matters of the heart. Don't forget that the show is being recorded in front of a live studio audience, and we would like to thank all of our guests and sponsors for their business. And now, here's your host, author and motivational speaker, the incomparable Trish Robinson.
Hello, this is Trish Robinson with Too Inspiring, Matters of the Heart, a show for the community and about the community. My guests today are two women who are entrepreneurs in their community and are looking to share what they do in their experiences in Harrisburg, Pennsylvania. As you know, entrepreneurship is a difficult task. Not only that, but it's challenging. And every day we're met with different challenges. The ladies that I have with me today are going to talk about some of those challenges. So I want to thank my guests for showing up today. I have Chanelle House,
Yes.
and I have Doreen Sawyer. Thank you for joining me, ladies.
You're welcome. Thank you for having us.
Not a problem. I'm excited about, I love to engage with women that are entrepreneurs, but more importantly, to my heart, African American women that are thriving and doing something that they're passionate about and feel like it's their purpose in life. And that's hard. Sometimes we don't find what our purpose is until, sometimes we never find that purpose. And so you ladies have found something that you're passionate about and that you're purposeful about. And you found it in the Broadstreet market in Harrisburg, Pennsylvania. So I want to talk to you ladies about your experience. First of all, I want to start with you, Doreen. Just tell me your name and what product do you have to share with our listeners?
I sell Popcorn Melts by Doreen. This is my business name. And it's a hull-less popcorn. A lot of people like to refer to puffin corn.
Okay.
But if you taste the puffin corn and my product, you'll see that it's a little bit different. This you can put in the freezer and eat it right from the freezer. It's just like eating ice cream and cake.
Oh, wow.
I make about 70 different flavors. I make all the sauces myself, and I do all the flavorings myself.
Now, thank you very much,
You're
Doreen,
welcome.
for that. Now, Chanelle, you have a product that you also sell. You sell that product out of or you were selling it out of the Broadstreet market. Can you tell me a little bit about your product?
Yes. One of my products I have are body butters. My body butters are handmade. They are whipped to perfection. They go on real creamy, really, really smooth.
I can contest to that because
Yes.
I continue to buy them.
Yes. My customers love it. When I created my brand, I created it for all ethnicities. I do not like when I go into the store and I see that the products are divided or segregated per se. So I said, well, when I thought about, writing my business plan and my vision for my business, that was one thing I wanted to offer products for all ethnicities, and that consists of body butters, shea butters, all natural soaps, shampoos, and so forth.
Well, Doreen, how long have you been with the Broadstreet market?
I've been with the Broadstreet Market since 2014, June of 2014. And when I first started out, I was under another marketing supervisor. So it was a little bit different, a little bit more laid back. Not to say that I cannot remember her name right offhand, and I'm really, really sorry because I really liked her a lot. She was giving people chances to come in, and she was geared and going in another direction, but she wasn't there long. So nobody really got to see what she was going to be capable of doing for the market.
Okay.
And then Beth Taylor came in, and
That's the current management.
that's the current manager. Yes, there was someone else there that took over in between, right before Beth came. But
Okay.
it was a lady that that I had never met before, but I understand that she was there before, Beth or the other lady. I am so sorry
That's okay.
that I
That's
cannot
fine.
think
That's
of her
it.
name. But she was marketing manager for a short period of time until Beth came on, from what I understand.
Okay.
But Beth Taylor, Miss Taylor, who's the marketing manager, right now is going to, in a broader direction,
Mhm.
you know, for the market, and it has really, really come a long way.
So let me ask you
But-
this question. So now there, along with new management, there's new opportunities, or are they things have changed in terms of how they run things? So are you still currently at the Broadstreet Market, or you no longer? Because I thought that they were changing the policies where they would have pop-up vendors outside and vendors that actually have stations inside the Broadstreet Market. Is that correct or incorrect?
From what I understand, the pop-up vendors were, they were inside. I'm only there from October to April. So that is the time period that I
You choose to.
have.
Okay.
You know, because like I said, my item is a perishable item. So the market is extremely too hot for my product. So
Understood,
I'm
yes.
under a contract where I'm there from October until
Till April.
April.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
This past season, right before I left, I was told that if I was going to stay any longer, that being a pop-up vendor, that I would be going outside, because all pop-up vendors are going to be going outside starting May 1st. So,
And was there a reason behind that change?
I wasn't told of any reason.
Okay.
You know, I don't know if it was just because of the season to have more, I was told that, the reason why the pop-up vendors are gonna go outside was to give room for, customers coming in to spend time in the market. They were making room
More
for
room for customers.
customers.
Okay, even with the fact that the management knew that you had a product that required it to be in a cooler atmosphere, you were still told that you would probably have to be outside.
Yes,
Okay.
because I wasn't permanent. If I were permanent, then I would have to probably build my own area and bring in coolers and, you know, like, almost like a store to
To
stay there and to keep my product. But, I'm an entrepreneur.
right.
You know, so I'm not a store. I like what I do for the 6 months that I know I can do it, and I love the fact, excuse me, that I could go to the market. I've tried other places, but to no avail. It wasn't, you know, very profitable for
Profitable
me.
for you?
Yes.
Okay, you have
yes.
a nice customer base at the
Oh,
moment.
very
because
much
You've been
so.
there many years.
Very much so.
So what do you think your plans are, knowing that come October, when you decide to go back into the market, would you go back, or would you what decision are you going to make based on the knowledge that you're going to probably have to set up station outside?
Like I do every year, I would sit down and talk to Miss Taylor, put in my proposal, and if there's a spot available, which I told there would be, since I've been there for so long, that I would be inside,
Okay.
you know, in whatever space is available, and
available.
probably the space that I had before, since I've been there for so long. Whether or not that that information will change
Mhm.
before I get to her, I'm really not
You're not
sure.
Okay.
I'm really not sure.
So do you have, with the Broadstreet Market, do you have a contract?
6 months contract.
6-month contract.
Yes.
Okay, and that can
I
change
would,
after
and that can
each-
change.
Each,
Yes.
okay.
Yes.
Thank you.
But the areas where Miss Chanelle and I are built in now. You know, from what I seen the last time I was down there, those areas are built in. The market decide to build vendor areas, vendor spots
So-
that they can they're already marked off per
As for
footage.
vendors, wow.
Yeah.
So there can be some changes. Now,
Yes.
Chanelle, tell me a little bit about your experience, because you have your pop-up vendor. You have a product that requires it to be in a cool atmosphere as well. You can't be outside. So, what was your conversation with the Beth, with the management at the home?
Well, my conversation with Beth in April, I once again, told her that I would like to become a permanent vendor at the Broadstreet Market, and she asked me to submit my business plan. She would read over everything, and if that was something that she feels as though will be a great fit for the market as well as the community, she would go ahead and approve it. Well, after I submitted it, she went ahead and she approved my business plan and gave me the okay to become a permanent vendor at the market. And then the next step was for her to find me a location. She asked me if I, where did I want to be, and I told her that I would like to be in the same location that I've been, for the last 2.5 years. And she said, okay, that's fine. She said she would go ahead and she would, determine the square footage and everything, and she would get back with me. But then we also walked around the market, and, she showed me another spot that was, down across from Hummers. But at that time, I, did tell her that, I can stay up on the side where I've been popping up. Because a lot of my customers for the last 2.5 years, they know, yes.
Absolutely.
Mm-hmm. So after that, she went ahead and she gave me some dimensions of the space that she picked out for Shake Optimum, which is the name of my business again. And the dimensions were 16 by 6, which, is roughly like 96 square feet.
Okay.
And it goes from one pole to the other pole. So it goes from where Ms. Doreen was set up to where I was set up.
So very small area.
Yes,
small
very,
area.
very small area.
Okay.
And since May, after it was built, me and the manager had been going back and forth because I'm trying to tell her that space is not big enough for my business, for me as well as 2 employees.
Right.
And she insists that space is all that I need. But again, it's just a lot of conflicting stories being told, because Doreen was told one thing by the manager, that she built that spot for me and Doreen's business together as pop-ups.
Okay.
And then I'm being told that she built that spot for just Shea Optimum, and Doreen is considered a pop-up, and all pop-ups will be outside. So it's
conflicting.
It's
stories.
conflicting
So,
stories.
but you are considered a pop-up too, correct?
I'm considered a prospective vendor. Yes,
Oh,
because
prospective vendor.
I
Okay.
cannot sign my lease until we come to an agreement of the square footage of the spot that I'm going to be in inside of Broadstreet Market. So what I've been trying to do is get into ask the manager if she could give me another space within the market, and that's where the problem is going.
Okay, so what is the criteria for any person? Because you have, of course, I'm sure there's an application. You got to have a business plan, like most businesses do. It may not be as strategically planned out like a bank will ask for, but you still need a plan. They need to see is there any revenue costs that you have to meet each month, or to stay in the Broadstreet market? Is there any other criteria that has to be met for you to be considered a pop-up versus a vendor?
Yes, it is criteria. One of the criteria is everything has to be handmade, and it has to be handmade in Pennsylvania by whoever wants to come in themselves.
And I'm assuming that both your products are handmade, but
Yes.
not they're made in Pennsylvania.
Yes,
Okay, so that's no longer, it should be an issue.
that's not an issue
At all.
either. Yes.
Okay, awesome. So what do you think, what is because you want to be in the Broadstreet market, because that's where you get a lot of business. And so Chanelle, tell me again, what are some other criteria that you have to meet in order to be in the Broadstreet market?
You have to be a registered business owner. Of course, like I said, the business plan, a registered business owner, insurance. You have to be licensed.
Okay. And we say
Yes.
license, what do you need? What type of license is that?
I have a mercantile business license.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
Mhm.
Awesome. So what would you like to say to the management now in terms of, because you know what you need. You need enough space to be able to work and also have 2 other people work in your station. So what would you like to say? What do you hope to accomplish by coming here today and having this interview? Because we want to share, for one, we want to share it with the world, with the community. What would you like to get out of this, and what would you like to say?
Basically, one of my desires, before I even asked management at the Broadstreet Market if I could become a permanent vendor, I wanted to expand. I definitely needed more space because of the spot that I've been in for 2.5 years has been too small. and I wanted to expand my brand, especially like dealing with bulk shea butter, something that I now sell. When in the beginning, I just started off with selling, 8 ounces in a pound, but now I'm selling 25 pounds, 50 pounds, and so forth.
Okay.
And basically, I would love to be accommodated with space. When I checked their website, it said a minimum of 100 square feet. So that's one thing that I've been trying to remind the market manager about, that their website states a minimum of 100 square feet if you are
Absolutely.
a permanent vendor. And that's all I've been
That's all
asking
you can
for since May, when I initially submitted my business
Your
plan.
proposal.
Yes, my proposal. Well, actually, I submitted it in April, but after she approved it and she picked out the square footage and everything, it was basically May.
And so when was the last time you spoke to her about that? It is
we-
now
Yes.
almost, it's July. When's the last time you spoke to her?
We've been in communication by email.
Okay.
I had to reach out to the board,
City.
Broadstreet Market Board.
Okay.
Yes, Broadstreet Market has a board, and I've turned to some board members and asked them for their help. Because basically the manager, she does not want to accommodate me with more space. She feels as though that the spot that she picked is big enough for my needs. But what's so upsetting is the fact that she suggested that either one of my employees or both of my employees stay home, and then I would
Wow.
have enough space. And that was very, very,
Unprofessional.
yes, and upsetting.
Understood.
Yes.
Understood.
Hmm.
So you went to the board, and so what, have any of the boards gotten back to you? Have you had a conversation with them about it?
Well, yes, they've been getting back and forth with me, and their communication has been great. It's just that, the manager of Broadstreet Market, they have to come up with a meeting.
Okay.
And it was some board meetings scheduled, but they've been canceled.
Okay.
So none of my concerns have been able to be addressed.
Okay.
And I just found out that the next board meeting is not going to be until August. But what is so upsetting is the fact, number one, when I got put outside in April, just out of nowhere, me and Chantel, because Doreen was, off at that time, we were told that we had to go outside, and
Without
been
notice?
outside. Maybe like a month
A
notice.
month notice?
Yes.
But you
Mhm.
have products that melt.
Melt. Yes, but because I'm humble, and I don't like to go against the grain, I went outside and I got a tent and I tried it. But by the time it was time for me to leave, all of my body butters were liquid.
Liquid.
Because of the hot heat and the
Yes,
sun,
Absolutely.
And that did not work. I found myself throwing away a lot of product. I lost a lot of money. And just the mere fact that the manager is not taking into consideration
Yes.
my needs
Mhm.
as a vendor at the market is just truly upsetting. I've changed my lifestyle. I've been a full-time tractor trailer driver for 7 years. And just before I submitted my proposal to become a permanent vendor, I dropped down part-time because I'm looking ahead,
Right.
like, okay, well, she said that I'm going to be moving into my stand and, I'm going to be a permanent vendor. So I adjusted
That's
my
your
lifestyle.
income, yeah.
And none of that has happened.
Oh.
And I'm losing money because I'm not at the Broadstreet Market every week. I'm
Where
losing
are
money.
you at with your product now? Are you doing it outside of your home, or you're not doing it at all?
Well, right now, I thank God that my customers are so loyal
Mm-hmm.
that they have been still in contact with me, still wanting to get products.
Good.
But, I've been running back and forth, trying to accommodate their needs, meeting them outside of the market.
Because you don't live in Harrisburg.
Because I do not live in Harrisburg.
Okay.
I live in York, Pennsylvania.
Okay.
But, I'm dedicated to my customers, and I feel as though that my customers should not suffer because of the inconsistencies with
Absolutely.
management at the market.
Absolutely. Want to hope to accomplish. And what would you like to share, with her when you have that conversation with her? Because you still have to submit something to her, correctly?
Right.
Okay.
Right. I would like to see the marketing manager, Beth Taylor, hold up to her word and treat everybody fairly and equally instead of having so many different conflicting stories. The information that I just heard for the first time with my sister Chanelle isn't anything that was addressed to me as far as the pop-up vendors being outside. I was under the impression, it left me under the impression that it was just for the summer.
The summer, okay.
You know, and that when I decide to come back in October,
You'll be inside.
that I would be accommodated, but I would still have to go through the proposal, and like I do every year.
Okay.
You know, like I said, I've been there, excuse me, since 2014. What I would really, really like to see on an individual status, as far as not even involving the Broadstreet market, is having a business where vendors can come at any time, just as long as you have your business license. So you can bring your product, you know. I have a vendor city, you know, that's the name
Wow.
that I want it to be.
Nice.
Anybody can pick up on that, you
Yes,
know.
you
Hey,
like
I'll
it.
back you up too, you know, it's not anything that's written in hand in stone. But I would like to see that for the vendors, because there are a lot of vendors here in
Yes.
this area
Yes, yes.
that don't have any place to go.
Right.
You know, not even, you know, if they wanted to go to the Broadstreet market, because they work full-time, they're young,
Absolutely.
and maybe they don't have that direction, or maybe they don't know the information that we had to go foot for ourselves.
Yes.
You know, until we learned about, you know, our business license and all. But as far as the Broadstreet market, it is, it's a part of our culture.
Yes.
And even when I was young and going to the Broadstreet market, you could go into the market and you could buy anything and everything.
Question is because there's only three of you, and she's, the other vendor is not here, pop-up vendor, is not here to share her story, but I know she has similar feelings to where you have, and she also has went to the city and asked for support and help to talk to the manager of the Broadstreet market, and has, to no avail, has not gotten any support in that area. So when I look at this picture, and I hate to paint this picture, but it is what it is, call a spade a spade, it's only African American women, minority women that have been placed outside. Are there any other vendors that you know of, other than yourselves, that have been told that they have to go outside based on them being considered pop-up?
I can say, since I am from the area, like I said earlier, at any given time, you could go into the market and you could buy anything and everything. And there was a lot of diversity in that. You know, there were Caucasian vendors, there were black vendors, and, you know, it was just a community.
Yes.
You know, it is a community thing. And I know there are vendors now, excuse me, there are vendors now that have small spaces that were already working for other permanent vendors.
Okay.
You know, that are in the market, that branched off into their own thing.
Wow.
And now they are, I don't know what they're considered. I don't know if their spot is permanent because there was a spot available to them. And I can only think of two. And since I work with myself, you know, making my own product, I don't get a chance to visit everyone in the market and actually see what is going in the market.
Okay.
But the feeling,
Yeah.
the feeling is very, very heavy, and it's going into a different direction. There are a lot of more Caucasian starting to come into the market, which it wasn't before.
Okay.
And now there is the fact that you have to have your product handmade, or it has to be made in Pennsylvania. Other times it was handmade, and you can have come in a spot if there's a spot available. You pay your, you know, you pay your dues,
Right.
and you know, it was anywhere from handmade clothing to items that people actually made for knickknacks and jewelry, and you could buy anything at the market. But now it's going in a totally different direction.
Do you see it being more food, towards the food aspect of it, and not so much of the diverse in terms of entrepreneurship? Just anyone that wants to make something and create something that can come in and just start their own business. Is it starting to look like they just focusing on one
Yes.
dimension?
Yes,
Okay.
it's more food.
Okay.
More food. Now, I don't think they can say too much for those that are already there,
Right.
that has been there for years, that make their own jewelry. You know, I don't know their part of the business, and all I know now is that it has to be made in Pennsylvania, and and it has to be handmade.
Handmade.
Whether that those wordings are broad enough to include jewelry. Now Miss Chanelle, you know, she makes her body butters,
Right.
and she's been there for 2.5 years. So, and we do make our own products. But the answer to your question, I see it mainly geared to
Towards
food.
Now, I know there's a couple flower
She's
stations.
a new one.
Okay, now does
She used to work for Hummers.
she bring her own, does she grow her own flowers?
I don't know.
Okay, so that's
I
a
couldn't
question
tell you.
that will be asked if and she's still inside of Broadstreet
Yes.
Market, correct?
And there's a lot of questions that can evolve with that.
Right.
You know, if you're strictly with making your own product and things being made in Pennsylvania. It could go from the bag of chips that a vendor is selling to, do you grow your own fish?
Absolutely.
Or are you getting your own fish in Maryland, and selling it in Pennsylvania?
So, yeah.
I mean,
it opens up
it opens
a
up
can.
a
Yes.
whole can of worms.
Yes,
You know,
absolutely. Absolutely.
to give us the feeling that it's only one-sided.
It's only one-sided, understood.
Correct.
Now, Chanelle, you are going to be talking again with the manager. Is there anything else that you want to add to this conversation that you may think that will be, the listeners, our viewers would love to hear and to kind of marinate on?
Well, the next step, actually, I ran into Beth and I asked her when I would be signing my lease, you know, because I've been waiting and we're going into August. And she said she didn't know. She said she doesn't know. She needs to get in contact with those that have been assisting me, board members.
Oh,
Yes,
okay.
board members that I've reached out to for help because my emails were being ignored. My concerns were being just pushed underneath of the rug. My needs were going unmet. So I eventually reached out to some board members, and not only did I reach out to some board members, but some of them reached out to me because they was wondering, what is the holdup? You know, why am I not yet a permanent vendor?
Absolutely.
You know, but one thing that I'm starting to see with management at the market, when you reach out to the board, it's almost like it upsets her.
Mm-hmm. You went
You know,
above.
I went above her,
authority.
and because I went above her and that upset her, now I've really been pushed on a back burner. And it's just really, really upsetting. You know, I went to the mayor, you know, I went and spoke with President Wanda Williams of City Council, and we've been trying to get this issue resolved.
And you've been trying to get a meeting, and the meeting has been postponed
Yes,
and postponed
yes,
for that because
yes.
of situations. I
Yes,
think
and-
that is what's, and I just looking at it from the outside in, to me, that's what it looks like to me, in terms of her not getting back to you, and her response to you, or that she don't know. Here we are getting to the close of the end of the summer, and so you've lost some money, you've lost some opportunity.
Yes,
And
yes.
that hurts your pocket, and I think that's unfair practices on her end and very unprofessional to kind of keep you in limbo as to when you'll get at least have that conversation. That should have been addressed a long time ago.
Yes. I want to say thank you to all of my customers, all of my loyal customers, everybody that has been supporting me, sending me words of encouragement, checking up on me, following up on the situation that I've been experiencing with the Broadstreet Market since May. I want to say thank you so much. I would not still be at the Broadstreet Market if it wasn't for each one of you. Again, this is not about color, because I feel as though that God loves us all. I love every ethnicity. This is why I built a brand for all ethnicities, and I'm going to stick by it. I'm not going to allow the Broadstreet Market to let me down or to let my customers down. So I want to say thank you once again. I'm Chanelle House. I'm the founder of Shea Optimum. I'm an importer, a distributor, a wholesaler, and a manufacturer. My web address is www.sheaoptimum.com. My telephone number is 717-850-8126. You can purchase my products at Ironic Cafe, Redux Market in York, Pennsylvania, New York Beauty Supply Store in York, Pennsylvania, and at the Broadstreet Market in Morningstar Market. Thank you.
Awesome.
To all my customers, you already know that Popcorn Melts by Doreen is a perishable item that needs to be cooled, so that's why I'm not at the market during the summer. But the majority of you know, since I've been in existence since 2014, you can reach me at 717-343-9885 and place your order as you always done. Love you all and hope to see you in October at the market.
This is Trish Robinson with Two Inspiring Matters of the Heart, a show for the community and all about the community. Thank you for joining us. Bye-bye.
Thank you so much for coming out and being a part of Too Inspiring, Harrisburg's first inspirational television talk show about matters of the heart. We do hope you were truly blessed.